Hey guys, Dazanar here. How you doing? Let me ask early, please like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you actually do watch these. I'd appreciate that. And I don't need the likes, but every time I see a like on my video, it does like strike some dopamine, does make me a little happier that, you know, one of you guys are out there liking it. Appreciate you. Appreciate anyone that watches these videos. I don't get a lot of views, but I appreciate every couple or dozen of you. I really do. Today I kind of wanted to talk about loss in a way. Like more specifically the loss of our ecosystem here on Earth and what that might do in the future, what that will cause future humans or what we evolve into or what we create to do, you know, and in a way to mourn that loss or, you know, not, I don't want to say immortalize it, but like try and fix what happened. I just stopped by and talked to these hunters. We're here at Tiger Bay Wildlife Management Area. It's a beautiful, beautiful forest. You can hear the wind just blowing through the trees. It was logged very heavily years ago, but they replanted it with a lot of slash pine. You know, we lost the actual ecosystem that was here. There used to be, let me flip this around. We still have the saw palms. We still have oaks growing. We still have myrtle around, but the oaks weren't as impressive once upon a time. They weren't the species here. We got a lot of these sand pines. These were probably here, but they weren't necessarily planted. And then you have all these slash pine. What was here before was a lot of long leaf pine, and those grow really, really thick, and they can live up to 500 years old, but almost all of those were cut down and replaced with slash pine. And beneath the long leaf pine, we had wiregrass and all types of herbs, saw palmettos, lots of wildflowers. The ecosystem was really, really diverse. There was lots of insects, so many different creatures. And now it's kind of, you know, there's not a lot of wiregrass around. There's some invasive grass that they probably planted when they had cattle out here. And you get a lot more oak than what probably existed. You get some blueberry. There are some shrubs, some smilax. I don't think that's smilax, but there's smilax out here. I've eaten it. But we lost that ecosystem, and we lost that like 100 years ago, if not, you know, a little bit before then. And now we don't have that. We don't really have a way to get that back. We can kind of create a sort of ecosystem, but what happens when overall ecosystems start collapsing around the world? What happens if apathy kicks in and people don't really want to recreate or to strengthen the ecosystems we have remaining? What happens if technology gets out of hand? The use for water to create power sources gets out of hand as we continue to push for technological evolution. What happens when we start to lose all this, you know? As much as we love technology as a human species and progress, we need this natural world. This is what we lived in. This is what we evolved to live in. This future society that we're building is not necessarily gonna be meant for us in its entirety. And it's always made me wonder what's gonna come after. Why does it come after? Why do I feel like I'm already in a simulation? Like, why would I be in a simulation? And when I've put all these puzzle pieces together, at least for myself, I don't try to preach this on everyone else. This is not set in stone. But for me, it seems like I've already lived this in a way. We humans have already lived through this in a way, and we lost it. And the only way I'm here right now in my head is because some technological entity that was merged with humans in some way or inspired by humans in nature decided to try and recreate this, to like give a sanctuary space for humans to do again, you know? Like, that's what it seems like to me. It feels like to me like we're heading down this very dangerous path as the human society. And there are little blips of hope, you know, where the ocean cleanup project is out there trying to figure out how to stop plastics from flowing into the ocean by cleaning up major river sources that are polluters. They've got these huge ships out in the Pacific garbage patches and other plastic patches throughout the world trying to clean up plastic. That's really inspiring, you know? And we have this problem now, the Kessler syndrome, which is where satellites in space they're just so numerous, and they're going to get more and more numerous. Eventually, we will could have a catastrophe, which puts more debris out there and makes it really dangerous to even put more satellites up or even leave Earth's atmosphere as it becomes dangerous. But I believe at some point we'll have something similar to the Ocean Cleanup Project that tries to clean up those situations as well. So I see that there's hope for humanity, but it seems like we're sliding into such a dangerous situation at such a dangerous pace that we're going to go through major loss. We're going to lose so much more than we expect right now. And we're so thoroughly distracted by this resource war, this rat race that so many cultures that are here on the planet, so many civilizations. Are we one civilization? I'm not sure. Maybe we are just one civilization. I don't really know exactly. But we have a whole bunch of different nations, right? And different governments that seem like different civilizations in a way, different ideas for the future. And some pander a bit harder that, you know, they're trying to protect nature. And then some don't hide that there's a disdain for nature, you know, they don't really care about that. That's not the bottom line. But regardless, I don't think that any of these powerful entities are truly trying to preserve nature and Earth for humans or for other wildlife. I feel like they're trying more to preserve control and power and the way of life, which is a resource game here, for as long as they can. And that's a perpetuator for this loss. That's a perpetuator for the destruction of our ecosystems that are getting thrown out of balance as there are less birds, there are less insects, there are less mammals, there's less niches for these things to exist as they once did. And we regular people have less and less control on fixing that because we're so thoroughly distracted, so thoroughly locked into needing to work in this harder and harder resource war. It's bothersome. I know it bothers a lot of people. Like, a lot of us are bothered by this. Not many of us really want the planet to go away. I think some people might, you know. There's some radical Christians at the very least out there that want the return of Jesus Christ, and you know, to do that they pretty much need the apocalypse to come, and they push for that kind of agenda. And then you've got people that are addicted to greed and money, and that's not really their agenda, but their bottom line needs more destruction, needs more progress, needs more development, needs certain industries to succeed. And for certain industries to succeed, you have to tear down more places like this, or find more places like this where you can expand into. And what's that going to do for the future species? You know, for future humans, for future Homo sapiens that are going to be here in the next 100 or so years. It's going to make them more apathetic as they lose more and more connection to places like this. As places like this disappear or become even harder to get to, you know, either because there are less of them, or maybe the work doesn't get better. You know, maybe the AI or AGI revolution makes it harder for people to survive because there's no means to make income anymore. I don't know. That's that's all hearsay at this point. It could turn out well. Maybe it develops a UBI type of system so we have more freedom, more free time to do what we like to do, and maybe we will devote more time to the planet and to each other and come together and restore some of these places so that they stop falling apart, so that we stop losing birds. But if it doesn't, we're going to be a species that leaves behind less and less, and creating a technological species that won't have this. You know, it'll have stories about this, it'll have documentation about this, it'll have video about a lot of this stuff, but we will have squandered it for that, you know. And eventually, if we continue to squander it and continue to fight, it won't even have us. If we continue to not be a healthy species, even physically, you know, if obesity doesn't get under control in situations like that, if people don't go out and exercise, you know, because we're so tuned into the dopamine game, you know, that technological entity might lose us. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe some of you think that is a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. That seems sad to like bring a child into this world, essentially, metaphorically, and then because of you, we are essentially chain smoking cigarettes here on planet Earth. Like, you die before the kid's even a teenager, and then the kid's left dealing with the scraps of like, okay, well, I'm here and there used to be all this beautiful stuff, but now not only is there not as much beautiful stuff as when I was first created, which is this epoch right now, but like my family, my relative, the creator, my whatever is just gone because it was irresponsible. That's kind of one reason I think that I personally, I can't speak for everyone, but in my experience, it's why I'm here. Like, something brought me back. It's like, you accidentally killed yourself. In a way, maybe metaphorically. But here, we've brought you back to this space and this time. We've recreated it to the best of our abilities. We can't live in it with you. That's not what they were created for, you know? But we have this place for you to relive over. Like a preserve, in a sense. Because we squandered it, you know? But it's always felt like we have a better choice to make now. Some of my LSD experiences showed me the future of Earth, and it was not very positive. It was a water-stricken planet. The waters were not, the oceans were lower. There was no fresh water. It let me know there's like no fresh water left. Water crisis was real. And all that's kind of left are essentially data centers where we are stored and kept. And it was like a message to like, can you do better? And I don't know if we can do better right now. Doesn't seem like we can. It's kind of really sad. I'm like tearing up right now. I know we can do better. I know if like more of us work together, we can do better. We're so caught up in politics right now. Fascism, communism, totalitarianism, oligarchy, control from all sides, wanting to burn it all down, anarchy. It's like people that want to control the situation have controlled our minds to such a degree that we can't come together on the things that actually matter, which is you, your family, your friends, the earth, the ecosystems. That's what really matters here. That's what's been supporting us for our entire evolution, and not just human evolution, but like biological evolution on here. We owe it to this planet, to the star, to this galaxy, to the black hole at the center of the galaxy. Like, those things are the reason we are here. And we're squandering things here on this planet, and it's such a feeling of loss that's, I hope that we can fix. I hope that we can work on. I still have hope. Like I said, there are projects out there that are trying to make a difference. It's just they don't have enough backing. They don't have enough people power a lot of the times, because we're just so swept up in something else's game, greed's game. And greed doesn't necessarily care about the planet unless it can make more greed, So I'm worried, I'd rather have a future where we get to share it with something instead of it like having to come in and, I don't know, save us in a way, instead work together to try and preserve it, instead of, oh, well, you fucked it up, so this is what we got to do now. Definitely babbling. But something's got to give, and we don't really want it to be the planet. What are you doing? If it's the planet that gives, we're gonna have to give too, and in ways that we don't really want to nor understand, that we're not prepared for. Just like a lot of people in the current American administration, the Trump administration, a lot of people weren't necessarily prepared for what was going to happen, all the change that was going to happen. Like, it's just like a firestorm of non-empathetic change. Whether you agree or disagree with that, that's all on you. That's just my opinion on the situation. But a lot of us were not expecting that. Some were. Some people were like, Project 2025. And then most people kind of hand brushed that away, myself included. And now it seems like, they did have an agenda that they really wanted to implement. And it is taking power away from the people and concentrating it even more up. That's a loss too. It's a loss of choice disguised as more freedoms, more control for you. That's not really, I don't think that's what's happening. Anyways, I'll end it here before the video gets too large. Hope you guys have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that cool fun stuff. And me and Cub will catch you in the next video.